I almost wasn't ready for the start of my own show.
Oh my God.
That would have been bad. All right. Siobhan Beslow is back. We are talking Unrivaled today, and also how it may affect the WNBA and the NBA, because I think people are very, very much interested in that.
Let's,
Siobhan, how are we doing? You've had an interesting week. You were telling
man,
me about before we started.
yes, I had like the clumsiest 48 hours at work I've ever had in my life. It's like everything that could go wrong went wrong. I might have cost myself a promotion. We'll see.
I think
Um,
I think a lot of people uh,
man,
on a day-to-day basis are feeling similarly. Just
man, I'd be stellar. Great, great. 48 hours before we were supposed to meet, I'm like, I just dropped. It's so we're here. We're gonna talk some Unrivaled. We're gonna rebound. Let's
yeah,
let's get all of that
yeah,
out.
let's do it.
I'm cool though. How are
On
you?
uh, doing well.
Yeah,
Hopefully not visibly tired. Although I keep like people keep telling me, "Yo, your eyes like you look tired," and it's like I'm
a little
working a
bit.
lot and I'm not sleeping
You're
enough.
working man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also have a bad habit of at night I get this burst of energy, and then to wind down I play a video game, and the video game aggravates me. So then I end up wasting more energy, and then
Oh,
I'm
see, no,
and then I'm
you
up
have to
till one
win.
thirty. Yeah, right,
No,
right,
whatever it is, you can't lose before you go to sleep.
right, right. It's
Start
like
it over.
yeah, it's like when you're hooping, you can't leave on a miss. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like this is what we used to practice this all the
Exactly.
time. You especially
Warming up,
younger. Yeah,
shoot arounds, can't walk off with a
yeah.
miss. No.
Yeah, that's bad juju. Okay, Unrivaled. This basketball league, for people who don't know, it is a new basketball league. It was founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, correct?
Correct.
And TV deal Turner, shout out to them. They're putting up money for this.
Correct.
You're seeing it all over their platforms, and it's 3-on-3. It's a lot of the, not all, but a lot of the best players in the world in the WNBA. They're playing 3-on-3, and they also had a one-on-one tournament, which is really what I was watching some of the 3-on-3 stuff, and the one-on-one tournament really pulled me in because I mean, one-on-one
Yeah.
basketball is just
Yeah.
classic hoops. So we're going to talk about that, how it pertains to the WNBA and the NBA, which we'll get to here. But just overall thoughts, Siobhan, on Unrivaled. What makes this league work? What makes this league so far a success?
Um. So I think maybe more than anything, it's fresh. All right, I think that that's one of the things. It's fresh, it's new, right? The concept of 3-on-3 basketball isn't something that we're unfamiliar with, but it's 3-on-3 full court, which sounds incredibly tiring. But the dimensions of the court are a bit smaller.
Yes.
It's not the 94-50. I think it's like 73, um, and maybe the same with the 3 point line. All of the demarcations inside the 3 point line, everything's the same. So these women aren't going into training camp hoisting shots, completely thrown off. Um, but yeah, it's exciting. It's a change of pace. It is inherently a different play style. There's this built-in component of space and speed and how you're able or unable to manipulate space, and then how you're able to kind of defend all of that space that is there to be manipulated. It's really cool. Um, I think what's making it successful is, like you said, yeah, it's player driven, or at least that's a lot of what's being highly touted. It's player driven, it's player founded. All of the ladies have a stake. They have some equity in the company. Like you said, TV deal with Turner. Under Armour is the official apparel group or company for the league, and they have it's all localized, it's all centralized, it's all kind of in its own little ecosystem down there. At least is that's how it's um that's how I take it. And they have the resources, they have the facilities that everyone is now um I think being even more vocal about than in times before. They have all of the recovery things that they need there, they have all of the weightlifting things that they need there, they have um what their salaries, right? I know the salaries are a huge talking point, and the idea that the average salary in Unrivaled is superior to that of the W, and it's for such a much more truncated period. I think there's a lot that's gone into what has made it an early success. I'd be interested in, as we get in here to the second half of the games and stuff after post the one-on-one, and just like the future for it. If the general public, casual fans, new to basketball fans, whatever, if they continue to give it the level of attention, because at some point there's but so many kind of actions and things that you can do in a 3-on-3 setting. And so gameplay wise, I guess I'll say I hope that that maintains a high level, but it's off to a really, really, I think, highly successful start, more than I think people anticipated.
Yeah, I don't tend to gravitate to 3-on-3 basketball, but I like that it was full court.
Hmm.
So even as somebody who loves international basketball, I don't watch a ton of the international 3-on-3s. Even though you could see it, it's clearly difficult. Anyone who's
Yeah,
played any level of basketball has played 3-on-3 basketball and knows that it's difficult, especially at that level where it's even more fast paced
yeah,
and there are shot clocks and there are actual rules that you
right.
have to abide by that you don't have to follow in the park necessarily. You touched on a couple of the business things. CBS Sports noted that the salaries were over 200K, which
Yep.
is a nice little off-season bag.
Yeah.
To not have to go to a foreign country.
Yeah,
eh,
off season stateside bag.
Off-season stateside bag, yes.
Right.
Because Kayla McBride, among others, they're going to go back to Europe for a little bit before the
Yeah.
WNBA starts. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's another bag there.
Get it how
Also,
you live.
players also split 15% revenue,
Mhm.
which is really interesting. And then obviously there were tournament prizes in, for example, the one-on-one, where Nafisa Collier winning is interesting because she founded the league, but also
Right.
if you watch, it's like, yeah, she probably has the best
No, she
one-on-one
won
game for this tournament.
of the group. Yeah.
Of the group. So yeah, because we didn't see like Asia Wilson, for example, who I think
Right.
would have been successful. Your thoughts on the actual basketball piece of it and the takeaways coming from it. Like, for example, Aaliyah Edwards performs the way she does in the one-on-one competition. Do you think there's going to be some carryover here into, okay, when she gets back to 5-on-5 basketball and it's going to be her second year in the W? Like,
Right.
is this going to affect her tremendously? And are there going to be any after effects for any of the other players as well?
So I think there's 5-on-5, right? Unrivaled, the main structure of Unrivaled is 3-on-3. And as I said, earlier, the difference in the allotted amount of work withable functional space. 5-on-5, 3-on-3, and then 3-on-3 to one-on-one, playing within those same parameters, there is now even much or even more, kind of open space to utilize, to get change of direction of things, and to use the expanse of like your wingspan and your body and all of these types of things. I think Aaliyah Edwards certainly has the skill set that she was able to display in the one-on-one tournament. I think that the adjustment, of course, will be now in how do we take some of those change of direction moves and make them tighter? How do we make them cleaner? How do we make them neater and more centered to the body so that you're able to execute them in what will be inherently now a smaller fraction of space? Fee was able to dominate kind of the one-on-one tournament the way that she did, because Fee, her body control in tight spaces, her body control in 5-on-5 settings, and in the short roll, very small frames where you have to kind of get your feet together off of the pocket pass, get your feet together, comport yourself, decide whether or not you're going to go up, kick it out, or whatever. She just has really, really great body control in a tighter amount of space. And then so you open up her canvas kind of to her. You give a painter more space to kind of create and do his thing, do her thing. And you'll get what it is that you're going to get. The talent doesn't change. You just give them more space to operate. And so I think, those are the differences again between the fives, the threes, and then the ones. The challenge now is, how do you go back into, like I said, the 5-on-5 setting, with the W season coming up, if Aaliyah or whomever else is going overseas. The idea, the concept of help side defense now is back. So you don't have all of this you have the functional space that you're able to handle the ball in, but now you also have all of this backline space to make passes and stuff because you don't have like your help side. So your help side is back. Spaces are just tighter. There's just more congestion. There's more stuff, and now you have to rely on kind of a neater skill set or a neater presentation of the skill set to get those same types of things off. That's the work. That's the training. That's the skill stuff that like her, Angel, people like even Dejanay to a certain extent. Like all of these guys can come away with what it is that they found that they were able to do successfully here. And now how do I repackage it? Trusting my coaches to kind of, reimagine the offense too. But how do I now repackage it to be successful in a more traditional setting?
Comments, questions, always welcome, especially live, but also after the fact, but also live. Eternal, very excited to see us both here. We appreciate that, obviously. I do have another thing that really stood out to me as I'm watching these games. I think people have a general skepticism of what they consider the off-season product of something. So, like for example, in
Okay.
football, which is not my primary sport in terms
Mhm.
of like sports consumption, but spring football is noticeably way worse of a product than the NFL, and bad football is tough to watch,
Yeah.
especially when it's in like an empty arena, empty stadium, I guess in this case. Here, you're seeing still elite players play in venues that have noise. Like the noise factor helps. It doesn't need to be 20,000
Yeah.
seat arenas or whatever.
Raucous.
Yeah, it
Right.
doesn't need to be that. There just needs to be noise. It needs to sound good on the broadcast, which it does.
Yeah.
And you
Have
have
some
players,
atmosphere.
right, and you have players playing hard. I think this
Yeah.
is why the Olympics works and
Yes.
FIBA just in general. You have players playing hard. You have players who are very, very good, very high level, just playing hard. And I want to ask you, like, not why do you think that is, but from the standpoint of just the competitiveness, like, can you speak to what you're watching? Like, does it feel like they're treating this like with as much importance as they do in the W? Because I really felt it in the one-on-one tournament where I'm like, yo, they
Yeah.
don't want to lose. Like, there's not a
Yeah.
person here. Like, I'm watching Arike Agumbawale getting pissed off, that
Yeah.
there's not much she can do from a size disadvantage, for example.
Yes. Against someone like a Skylar, right?
Right.
Or whomever else. Yeah. The very first week. So I'll touch on the one-on-one tournament in a second. But the very first week of Unrivaled, opening day, I was floored by the level of effort and kind of energy and tenacity that they were giving on. So I'll say too, right? Debut, opening game, there's always a baseline kind of level of adrenaline. You want to do good, you want to perform well.
Right.
We're opening up this product. But they were like going after it in a way that even really surprised me. I was tweeting about it the entire time. Like Dejanay is leaping over like the first row of chairs. I think Jewel found herself on the scorer's table at some point. I'm like, yo, they are really laying out, but it was so dope to see. And these are women who just really want to hoop, really want to ball, have whatever their own internal motivating factors are. And again, it's a brand new product. There's all of this talk about, what is it going to look like, this, that, and the third. And they came out and was like, this is what it's going to look like. And immediately my worry was, okay, so it's Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, play Monday, repeat. So Monday to Friday, they're off. And so ideally, or realistically, you're playing two of these games in this time. Is the turnaround time from Monday to Friday, week to week, going to be enough to kind of keep them healthy, energy levels, sustainability, all of those types of things? I think you're starting to see some of the attrition, some of the just wear, some of it, kind of manifest a bit. There's a bunch of nagging injuries, lower extremity injuries, or what have you. But yeah, man, like I was really taken aback a little bit by how much they were going for. Again, it's the money, it's bragging rights, it's a chance to display, like you said, it isn't the entirety of the W. It isn't all 144, 156 right now, 168 soon come, whatever. But
Yeah.
it is a good, it's a good nucleus. It's a good representation of some of what is the best about the W. Asia's not there, Caitlin's not there, some of these other people aren't there. But like, women here, these women are constantly kind of being inundated with opinions about themselves and what they can and can't do, and how, like, the dude that works at Dollar General can, bust him in whatever setting. So I think anytime they are given the option or the chance to really like put their ish on the table, they're going to. Like
Yes.
TV, stateside, a bag, they have the resources, they have the facilities. So it really makes for the type of product that it has been so far. We'll just see, how it all continues to. And then the one-on-one, like, yeah, we at the part is make it, take it. So
Yeah.
no, some of the matchups could have been a bit different. I had some sleeper picks. A couple of them panned out, a couple of them didn't. They should have. Rakia could have beat Fee, but we can talk about that another time. But yeah, these women have things to play for.
What do you think the WNBA, if anything, could learn from this experience? And what do you think, from an outside view, the WNBA could potentially just take from this experience, like looking at it, and are there ways to incorporate some of this into whether it's All-Star Weekend, or are there ways to, like, is there going to be an influence on the WNBA coming from Unrivaled, do you think?
I think 1,000,000%. They are not competitors. They are not competing leagues. They don't compete at the same time. They use the same labor force, but they are, different entities. I think the benefit in Unrivaled is that it does have the ability to influence, to tap. If the W is the mothership, if the W is the preeminent women's basketball league in this country, which it is, to see it's like offshoots. You have Unrivaled, you have AU, love AU. Shout out to
Yeah.
Athletes Unlimited and,
Yeah.
and what they're doing in Nashville. I think there was space to make AU a bit broader before Unrivaled came on. But if you are the mothership of the W and you're watching kind of your little offshoots, doing what it is they're doing, and this one over here, Unrivaled, is all of the girlies there are raving about it. You have no choice kind of but to look at it and see what it is that so many of them are so happy about. The conversation about resources and facilities in the W is an extremely hot one at this time. It's an arms race. You see the organizations that are willing to invest in the holistic care of their athletes, peak and perform at different places. So I think they're able to influence them, that way. Again, just look at what your athletes are willing to do stateside, going full out, kind of, whether it's for the bag, for the love of just playing, whatever it is, like, and then maybe put themselves in a position to injure themselves or risk their season with you. I think that there has to be, some I know that there has to be some talking in the C-suite about what it is that we that the W can take back from Unrivaled, and maybe ways it can look itself in the mirror a little bit, given the success that's happening down there in Miami.
Also, the competitive salaries, like, just from a
Yeah,
business
I mean,
standpoint,
yeah,
like,
CBA, right? The new CBA is coming up,
end
or
of the
new CBA
season.
negotiations.
Yeah.
How ardent are we going to be? We let the NBA dictate the TV rights deal, much to some people's chagrin. Some people understood it, and people believe there was space to get even more gains there. So in this new CBA, really, really, what do the girls want? What's the priorities?
I think if you're at the W, I think what you don't want are, and this is why the next CBA is important, what you want to avoid are players potentially playing in an Unrivaled and then going overseas to get more
Correct.
money.
Correct.
I think that's what you want to avoid. Not that I think this is going to happen, at least with these players involved, but you just never know because there are players who can get like a lot more
Right.
money playing in EuroLeague if they're good enough, or the Euro Cup if they're good enough.
Yep.
Like, and athletes unlimited, I guess to a lesser extent. Like there are some WNBA players there. There are former WNBA players. I saw that Bria Hartley just had a sick game. I think it was
Hmm.
last week. And I remember being like, damn, could she get a camp invite?
Yeah.
Like that's more of a resurgent type of deal. But I think that's what the WNBA is going to try to avoid with the increase in games. I think that's part of it too. It's like, if you're increasing the games, theoretically you would want to increase the salaries to keep your players from doing other things because not everyone is like a Kayla Clark or an Aja Wilson where they don't have to play another
Right.
league because they
Right.
have enough of a salary plus they get a lot more on endorsements
Right.
and sneakers now for Aja Wilson in her case. um yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I also think with the one-on-one aspect of it that's what's going to that's what got me sort of like really, I was like, oh, I'm going to watch everything here.
Hmm.
And seeing like Aaliyah Edwards beat Breonna Stewart in a shutout, which when you watch it, it's not as dramatically like one-sided.
It's
Yeah,
not. It
it's
really isn't.
it's just kind of got like a one-on-one could get away from you, especially when it's not ones and twos, it's twos and threes. And for people who don't know, I should probably read off the rules, but the one-on-one tournament, if you missed it, and if you didn't, you can, I guess, just sit here and listen to me tell you the rules. But it's single elimination, 3-pointer for possession, starts at the center, 7-second shot clock, which I love because one-on-ones
I,
could really drag on if you don't have a shot
I
clock.
thought it was a little too much. I think 10 could have been just fine. I get the 7 pushed it. I think 8 even maybe would have been okay, but
Okay.
they got what they got,
You
and it
think
was okay.
seven? You think seven's a little too okay?
Just a little too much. It
Okay.
got a little chaotic, but that's the thing, and I don't know, a little fatiguey, but that's the point. But keep on.
I kind of think that I like it because it helps you make quick decisions,
I
right?
know.
Like,
I understand the edge. It got it did what it was intended and like
yes,
potential to do.
yeah, it kept everything going. There was
Yeah.
also a game to 11, or just a 10-minute clock. Like if for whatever reason no one gets to 11 in that allotted time, then whatever. Twos and threes, as I mentioned, make it take it, which I mean that's a staple. There are fouls,
Yeah.
and you get two free throws for non for you get two free throws for consecutive non-shooting fouls. Or
Yes.
get free throw for consecutive non-shooting fouls, but you also get shooting fouls, which isn't always the case. I don't like. I don't know if I have twos and threes. I don't know if I want free throws off of shooting fouls.
I don't know that I think that I want free throws off of shooting fouls and nothing else. And I don't want the game to end on free throws. And I don't know
Mm,
what you know, I'm not in the room. They don't ask me to draw it up all the way, but I think I don't, there has to be a way, I guess, for us to not, in one-on-ones and shooting fouls. And then like even in the regular Unrivaled league, like we got a couple, games decided on free throws, and that was so anticlimactic.
yeah, I think the 3-on-3, which that's gonna end pretty soon, actually, and I wonder how that's gonna go, from a tournament perspective, from a rating perspective, and also what people's takeaways are from the games.
Yeah.
I find myself though just like excited about the league in general. Is that where
Yeah.
you are? Like you're like about not just the level of competition we're seeing, but just everything that
Yeah.
comes with the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It I think in 1,000,000% its pros outweighs its cons. Are there things that they can, wrinkle out and maybe improve? Of course. First year though is a rousing success. Um, I I think what are we? We're out in March, right? Like the first week of March, something like that. Or when do the playoffs start? I should probably know this.
I'm
Um,
looking right now. Right
I
now,
think.
we're not
Go
yet in
ahead.
March, but it feels like this year is going by too damn fast. Okay, so we have one-on-one tournaments. At the time we're recording this is Thursday, February 20th. There are games continuing through March in the regular season. Will end on March 8th, 10th, March
Mm-hmm.
10th, all the way to March 10th. So we still got a few weeks to go here. Then the semifinals are going to be March 16th and the finals March 17th. I don't love that the finals are on a Monday. I'm just,
Fair.
I just, as somebody who gets plugged into wrestling this time of year because WrestleMania is in April.
Yeah.
Competing with Monday Night Raw, not ideal for me, but it's at 7:30. Raw starts at 8. There'll be like minimal overlap regardless. So that I guess
Fair.
that'll be fine. But I like the idea of ending in March. WNBA training camps are going to be like a month after or so.
Yes.
So that's going to be important. Yeah, I mean that's where we're at. So this we only got a month left of this.
I think they nestled themselves really well into the quote unquote dead space of the season, the off season. I don't know that I have fears about the rest of the regular season playing out. Again, I think it's more so, I guess, audience retention. Um, do casual basketball fans get tired of what feels to be redundant patterns and actions on the floor? Does it eventually kind of, I guess, like all blend together and lose its allure, maybe? Um, I think year to year, though, what's going to keep it exciting is having new people, having fresh blood. Cam Brink was, I guess, selected for the season, was hurt. She's already slotted to, be in next year. I'm sure Flage, when she comes out, is going to be in it, given that she's an investor.
Mm-hmm.
If Cat's like, whenever she gets here, Juju will like make Unrivaled go crazy. And then again, all of the women of the W who are here now. Do some people who are in AU this year go on Rival next season? Do some Rival people go back to AU? And yeah, it's just more opportunities for these women, these professionals, these mothers, these humans, these
Yes.
athletes to continue to be able to do the thing that they love, whether people feel like it's a privileged position or not. They work their asses off. They've given countless instances of kind of like sacrifice and giving of themselves and their body and all of these things. Yes, it's a game, it's their job. Their job is a game, and there's this awkward, kind of existential tension in there, I guess. But the WNBA and the women of the WNBA, women's basketball as a whole, deserves this moment. It deserves Athletes Unlimited. It deserves what's happening in women's college right now. All of the women's basketball biome, I think, really, really deserves this moment. And they all should be able to, and I think are, for the most part, working pretty synergistically. And that's why you see women's basketball as a whole kind of on what feels this like meteoric rise.
Okay, that's Unrivaled in that aspect. Now I want to get into, before we get out of here, how it'll potentially affect the NBA, because I think,
Those
as
big
usual,
babies, I'm so sick of them.
we were talking about before how like men get credited with leading when typically we follow women who take the step first. And I think in the NBA, they're looking at this one-on-one idea that we've been saying for
Been
years you should
saying, right, this
explore.
isn't anything new.
Yeah, like we've been saying for years, hey, this one-on-one idea should be explored by
Yeah.
NBA players. Do it. And then Unrivaled in their first year is like, we're gonna have a one-on-one tournament. And now allegedly the NBA is like, you know what?
Hmm.
So
That could work.
what I did is I set up a little bracket. Now the seating could be better thought out, I feel like, in some aspects, because it's very hard. It's very hard to see NBA players by
Yeah.
for a one-on-one tournament for isolation purposes. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a bracket because I
Before
want.
you pull your bracket up,
Yes.
give me. We gotta whack the NBA just a little bit
Yeah,
more.
no, for real, we do.
Like come on. Yes, people have talking about the concept of one-on-one with regards to the NBA for a minute. And like you said, it's all the WNBA is always kind of at the forefront of whatever feels like the next kind of developmental change in the NBA. For like rules and stuff, the NBA uses like their G League for that. They
Yes.
go test out rules and things in the G League.
Yeah.
But like for big kind of cultural, societal, like it's always the W. The W was first in 2020, W was first with like the organizing and the protesting and out front. The Atlanta Dream got Kelly Loeffler out of here, got Senator Warnock in here. The fucking the in-season tournament that is the WNBA's Commissioner's Cup that has been a thing for a little bit now. That we're in like what year 2 or 3 of the NBA's in-season tournament.
Year
that was
2,
Commissioner's Cup. We've been there, and then this like stop you. It's like the NBA gets credited with being Big Brother and like the subsidizer. We give y'all all of this money, sure, cool, whatever. It's in there to talk about too. But like Big Brother is always so scared to go do the shit. And then here comes little sister just like ready and kind of about it and confident and sure and prepared. And they just go ahead and do it. And then the Big Brother gets the credit. It's like, no, we cleaned the house. You just give fine, whatever. That was it. That's my little rant.
No, I mean, and look, even before that, there were examples of like the Minnesota Lynx taking a very public stand for social justice, and then the NBA sort of followed suit at that point after. Like, listen, it's okay. It's okay to follow sometimes. Now I think with this tournament, I wanted to compile what a one-on-one tournament of NBA players could potentially look like. Now I'm going to preface this by saying there are certain people who I don't think would participate in this tournament. Like, I think LeBron would be like, I'm good. I'll watch y'all. You know, I think.
You know what? I agree with you, but I think that he is someone who has heard that said about him enough that would actually maybe. Now, he'll never do it. But I think if he would do it, it would be out of spite and on some like, I told y'all I run this still, whatever type format. But no, I don't think he would either.
So, okay. This is just as a baseline, so we can get a feel for what this would actually look like. I'm sure they would do this a little bit differently, but here's screen share.
Let me see.
Here we go. Okay, so I have 32 players, just like they did in Unrivaled. Okay, and I have play-ins for the 8th spot. So you see Hero Green, that's Tyler Hero, Jalen Green. You got to play for the right to compete in this tournament. The winner gets to play SGA, and they're probably going to lose in round 1.
Right. What a prize.
But this is one side of the bracket where you have SGA as the 1 seed, Hero Green at the 8. 2 seed, you have Anthony Edwards, you have Jamal Murray at 7. Devin Booker, Zach LaVine. It sounds crazy putting Jamal Murray that low and Zach LaVine that low, but once you go through the names, it's like, well, shit. Like I kind of get it.
I got SGA. Oh, are we going to give our picks? Are we going to go through it?
If you want, we can do that. I mean, this is very obviously going to be, but it's more so to show like what it could look like. And then 4, I put Steph. Steph shouldn't be a 4 seed. He should be lower than that. But the NBA is gonna.
I don't think Steph would do it.
I don't think Steph would do it either.
Yeah.
Also,
there's no reason for him to.
Also, he plays De'Aaron Fox in round 1 in this fictitious tournament.
Yeah, like when am I signing up? Like you could just left me home. I watch.
All right. So we're gonna put. Am I gonna type all these? Fuck it, let's do it. We'll put SGA. We put Anthony Edwards beating Jamal Murray.
I got Anthony. Yeah. Okay.
Edwards.
I got Zach.
Over Devin.
I got Zach over Devin. Yep. This is in the Unrivaled tournament. Ray Burrell. It was Ray Burrell versus Jewel. And I've had Ray Burrell. There's a length, there's an athleticism that I don't think Devin can kind of contain in a Zach in that much open space.
Eternal says we got to add Michael Beasley. That's an inside joke.
Man.
I don't know how he.
You put put who you want.
No. I'm not actually seriously gonna like. Come on. We'll go with LaVine because you're saying LaVine would beat Devin Booker, which I think would upset some people, but who cares? Steph Curry versus De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron. I think De'Aaron.
I kind of want to go De'Aaron too, but it's just like if it's 2s and 3s like Unrivaled. I mean, This is what makes Steph super dangerous. Now I don't know how
Zach and
interested her.
what kneecaps? Ricky says Zach and what kneecaps, and that's very funny. And I get it. I agree. Like I get that. Maybe that's fair. You might have made me change my mind, but I think I'm gonna stick with Zach.
We'll throw that comment up. Look,
De'Aaron or Steph? I don't know.
kneecaps are only necessary for 10 minutes of round one. So we'll give Zach LaVine functional kneecaps for that, and we'll give Foxes. Okay. This is the next part of the first bracket because the way this thing outlines it, it may come out all looking all sloppy at the end, whatever, but we're at least do the first portion of this. So the play-in is Bam and Siakam. And the winner plays Kevin Durant, who's a 1 seed. I still think Kevin Durant's a 1 seed in a tournament of one-on-ones.
I agree.
Kevin Durant's winning this.
Yeah.
Who wins between Bam and Siakam?
I can see both. I don't know if Bam is going to score enough.
I don't know. Siakam's going to score enough.
I agree, but I think Siakam might. I don't. What Bam?
This might go all 10 minutes.
We got little post Bam.
Bam might win 6-4.
Do we have? I'm shooting the midi Bam. Do we have I don't know. I'm gonna go Bam, the home team. And then sure you can have KD.
But Durant would win this. Okay. If Giannis versus Karl Anthony Towns 2-7. Giannis? Or do we think Towns is shooting? See, this is one where I think Giannis low-key can get popped very early in this tournament.
Yeah. I agree. And it'll be by a guard. It'll be by Jalen Brunson or something.
Well, that'll be next round.
Giannis or Cat? It should be Giannis. But yeah, maybe Cat just struts the floor the whole time. But if Giannis makes it physical,
I don't want people to overlook the defensive aspect of this tournament.
Yes.
That's the other part of it. That's why I'm like, Giannis might.
I think I'm going to say Giannis.
I think I'm going to say Giannis too, but man, Cat has the just the natural ability where he could win this entire thing. Mm-hmm. But he could also lose in the first round. He's like Kansas. Mm-hmm. Kansas is like this every year.
That's pretty accurate.
That's all right. We have your Eternal says Giannis has lots to deal with as defender. And also, I mean, he could obviously win this entire thing, but we'll keep it there for now. Jalen Brunson, James Harden, 3-6.
Jalen.
I agree in 2025.
Yeah.
LeBron James as a 4 seed, I put him against DeMar DeRozan.
LeBron.
Okay. I think he'll be prideful in the defense in that regard.
Yes.
It's just,
fully.
I feel disrespectful putting him as a 4 seed, but it's 2025 and he's not like the best isolation scorer ever,
Yeah.
We'll see a couple step back threes, regrettably. All right. This is the nasty bracket.
No, what the hell happened here?
The next one is the nasty bracket. I was running out of people to put in the play-in, and I was like, I got to put Jordan Poole or RJ Barrett here instead of like Nikola Vucevic or somebody else. It doesn't matter because Jokic is on the other side.
Yeah.
So whatever. Kyrie or John Morant, 2-7. And is putting Ja at a 7 disrespectful?
Might be, but I don't have the brainwidth right now to resort that.
I'm still going Kyrie in 2025.
I think I am.
Yeah.
I think I am too.
Like Kyrie to me, he's a 2 seed because he's Kyrie, and that Kyrie still exists, as we saw briefly in the All-Star game against the person who's a 3 seed here.
He does.
Wemby or
in
Zion?
a one-on-one format too. Finally, Kyrie getting the chance to really book. No, Wemby or Zion.
Wemby or Zion. I put Zion at 6, which I didn't feel great about. But I wanted to put Wemby higher, but I can't justify it yet.
There's no need yet. It's fine. We don't have to rush these coronations.
Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell. This 4-5. This is to me. This is like the most fun. One of the most fun matchups.
I got Donovan.
I do also. Dame's defense is not ideal. Okay, and then the last side. This is the nasty one.
Weak.
Luca versus Darius Garland or Norman Powell as the play-in. Luca's winning.
Yeah.
I think Norman Powell beats Darius Garland for what that's worth.
Ricky said we're crazy for going Brunson over Harden. He said Harden gets fouled or gets a layup every single time. You guys are out of your mind if you think
So does
Tiny Brunson
Brunson.
gets him.
So does
And Jalen is smaller than him, but I still there's an edge that I personally just give Jalen.
Me too.
But keep going.
Currently, yeah, like Brunson's great. Harden's having a really good year, but a lot of that's
Yeah.
because of his playmaking.
Yeah.
I put Joel Embiid and Trae Young because visually,
That's insane.
Can't
It'd be
Trae Young?
Trey. Yes.
Okay, tell me why Trae Young
No.
beats Joel
Joel
Embiid.
Embiid just really pisses me off. Like he just really, really does. I'm gonna save that for another platform, or whatever. But he really pisses me off. But I know that he's like the answer is supposed to be Joel.
He should.
I can just see.
He
I
should
can
win
just
the
see
whole
Trey
thing.
skating around him and just.
Right.
But yeah, no, it should. Yes, Joel is someone who could also win the whole thing too.
He should win the whole thing. I want to put Joel. I'm not. I'm gonna put Trey because I'm listening
I'm
to you
fine.
here. Um,
Ooh.
Tatum versus Cade Cunningham, 3-6.
Ooh.
I wanted to put Cade in the 4-5, but I like this matchup a lot.
Ooh.
I kind of want to put Cade.
I want to as well.
I feel disrespectful.
I think that I will. I'd put Cade.
Cade's isolation numbers for somebody who has to do this all the goddamn time because they don't have enough around him in Detroit yet. Yeah. He's really good. Tatum's defensively like underrated, I think, from a one-on-one aspect, but I want to put Cade there.
Yeah, I think there's a zip and kind of a popping Cade that is hard to contend with.
Anthony Davis, Jaylen Brown, the final first-round matchup.
Anthony.
Yeah, this wasn't that hard to me. It sucks because I wanted to put Jaylen Brown higher, but
I really like Jaylen Brown.
It's tough in the NBA. Okay, this didn't seed this right, but honestly, we could just keep going. Who cares? SGA versus Anthony Edwards, which should be in the semifinals, but the way they ordered this, I don't care because these matchups actually look good still.
Ooh.
Blame the app. Don't blame me.
SGA.
Yeah, I agree. The start-stop shit. Yes, Anthony Edwards is gonna have a hard time with that.
God, that boy's body is. Shai's a specimen.
The body control.
From a tendon, ligament standpoint, musculature, like the body control, he's a specimen.
What I saw from Nafisa Collier,
yes,
is what basically what I'm gonna see in Shai is like whatever spot she wants to get to, she's gonna get to it, and she kept going to the low block on the right side and trying to give like there's a lot of different things she could do there. She can up fake, she can fake you twice and then get to a layup, turnaround jumper, one-legged jumper, like drive by you and just lay it up. And Shai could do all of that.
So, but I know that like Ant is being fueled. No, I think like of course there's a place for Ant. Like I do. I think Ant is built to win a one-on-one tournament also. Just the level of aggression.
It's the NBA. Kind of a lot of these guys are.
Yeah. I don't care who comes out of that bracket. Personally, just stylistically, visually from me, a preference standpoint, I just like SGA. But yeah, Ant is big and strong, which would be the reasons I would have him be.
Victor Wembanyama's out for the rest of the season.
What?
He has a blood clot at his shoulder.
Oh, not the Chris. Where was Chris's?
I think it was his lung.
It was his lung. B.I. had a clot in his shoulder.
Yeah, no, that shit is serious. I forget which pitcher had this recently. Wow. All right, live reaction to this.
Oh no, I
gotta process that. We'll get back to that. I did not know Wemby was out for the season. They're shutting him down. That sucks. Well, He's
Jeez.
still alive in our one-on-one tournament for now. That kind of just rocked us. Eternus, I was wondering when y'all were going to see that. I'm trying to keep the show going here, but yes,
Yeah,
Wemby's
what?
out for the rest of the season. That sucks.
That is scary. I hope, yeah.
Yeah, blood clots are no joke. So
Mm-mm.
sit him out. It's his second year. You got De'Aaron Fox. You'll figure it out. Give him the summer.
Sheesh.
And if Victor Wembanyama is not cleared by the summer, don't expect to see him in Eurobasket. I think the Spurs are gonna do
Oh
what
yeah,
they
we're
can to
shutting
make
that
sure
down.
he's yeah. Okay, Zach LaVine, De'Aaron Fox. This wasn't supposed to play out this way, but whatever.
Zach Levine, De'Aaron Fox. Ooh, De'Aaron.
I think I go De'Aaron too. I mean, I wanted to go Booker last time, but it's fine. See, this is supposed to be a semifinal also. Durant versus Giannis. This is a good one. I my eyes want to tell me it's Durant,
Same,
but
but my gut, something is like, now you know it
yeah.
should be Giannis. Um, I'll give it to Giannis then.
You're gonna wow. Yeah, like it's the defense for me, but this doesn't feel right also.
Yeah,
Um we're gonna go with Giannis. Jalen Brunson or LeBron James. This is LeBron. Sorry, Jalen.
that's fine.
Jokic versus Kyrie. One
We
on
get that.
one. Jokic versus Kyrie Irving. See, if an NBA did a one-on-one tournament, like these are the
Who
kind of
gets
matchups
ball
we would get.
first? These are important things too. Who gets
Who
the ball
who
first?
makes a three-pointer?
Yeah, the W Unrivaled. Yeah, did shoot for ball.
If okay, so it would be whoever gets ball first.
Whoever gets ball first wins. Because I don't think the other one touches the ball. If Kyrie gets it first, Jokic maybe touches the ball, and then that's a tough hill to climb. But if Kyrie can keep the ball the whole time, Kyrie wins.
But if Jokic makes a three, then I mean, listen, Kyrie
Yeah.
could defend in the post, but not against
I
Jokic.
mean, yeah.
No one could. I'm putting Jokic because he's unguardable. Um, you know what? I'm gonna cheat right now, actually, because I just saw something else that's interesting. Can I just? No, I can't do that. Okay, never mind. I was literally gonna switch Kyrie and Wemby to make Jokic versus Wemby and Kyrie
Yeah.
versus Donovan,
Yeah.
but it's not letting me do it, and I'm not gonna. I'm just saying, if it's Jokic versus Wemby, I would still lean Jokic, but I wouldn't feel awesome about it.
Fair.
Um, because Wemby is defensively, he can guard anybody.
Yeah.
um, yeah, Wemby, Donovan Mitchell. That's how we ended up here, though.
That's nuts. I'm Swimby.
Yeah, sorry, Donovan. Luca Trey, this is great. It's Luca, but
Okay. Yeah.
it's Luca for me. Cade Cunningham, Anthony Davis.
Anthony.
No hesitation. Okay. SGA versus De'Aaron Fox. It's SGA for me.
SGA. Yeah.
Kind of low key, not that. I didn't struggle with that one. Giannis versus LeBron.
Now that's fun.
Woo! This is. It should.
LeBron is so smart.
My gut is yes. My gut's telling me it should be Giannis, but I feel like
Yes.
almost like in cartoons where like the older, wiser, still very
Yes.
good
That's
person,
exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
they just figure out a way to use the guy who's very high strong and use their
Against
powers
himself.
against them. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm gonna say LeBron.
I'm gonna say LeBron
This is
too.
nuts.
Like so stupid. It
Shams
should
is
be
saying
Giannis, but
Shams is saying the Spurs believe it's an isolated blood clot and will make a full recovery.
okay.
But yeah,
That's promising. Spurs aren't going to play with that, and for
No.
them, it's like this season was
Well,
about.
yeah.
This season was about like, all right, let's see what we can be And I think they
Yeah.
have an idea now. They have De'Aaron Fox. Now just get De'Aaron Fox acclimated to living in San Antonio and helping out the young guys, honestly, because they have some good young players on the team that they didn't trade
Yes,
any
they
of
do.
them. They didn't trade any of them.
They are quietly very, very loaded, very stacked.
Ooh, Jokic versus Wemby. We got it anyway.
Wemby.
You're saying Wemby? I'm saying Jokic.
Go ahead. That's fine. I get it.
Give me the Wemby case.
He's just a freak, man. But he's so frail.
Yeah.
Who gets the ball first?
I have
If
more
Wemby makes the three.
I have more confidence in Jokic making the three, but it's close. How does Wemby stop Jokic is my question.
Just be long. But there's only so much. Length is only going to go so far when you can kind of just be crumbled, girth and like size wise.
And IQ. Also.
And IQ, yeah. Okay, go Jokic.
Yeah. In 2 years though.
Yeah.
Jokic just turned 30. You're like yesterday. Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis.
Of course, this is a matchup we did.
Of course.
Luka.
Yes. Although in current Luka shape, I would say Anthony Davis, even though he's hurt technically. But just like I'll go Luka just to move this along. But Anthony Davis will be very vengeful. And Anthony Davis is another dude I think is good enough to win this tournament because of like name the better two-way players. Like there are barely any.
Yeah.
So SGA versus LeBron. We're toward the end here.
SGA.
This one is SGA for me. Like the shit he used to beat Giannis, like SGA would be like, all right, cool, I got this. Jokic and Luka. Oh, this is adorable.
Jokic.
The two besties. This one's Jokic to me.
Yeah, it's just a tickle fest.
And the finals is SGA and Jokic. The two MVPs.
Jokic.
If SGA gets ball first, does Jokic just kind of
touch it?
Yeah. Does he just wall up? Like, all right, do all your fakes, and I'm just gonna hope you miss. Or his hands aren't bad.
They're not timing wise at all. I don't know. Yeah, do all your fakes. I'm smart. I got good enough timing.
I'm big. I have good footwork.
You have to footwork like around my arms and the size of my body exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of scoop shots.
Yes.
Jokic. Okay.
It's probably Jokic. Nikola Jokic is the winner of the fictitious tournament.
That was nuts. It'd be like RJ Barrett or somebody.
I mean,
like quietly RJ, like those are the kind of builds of guys who sneak in there.
Who's the Aaliyah Edwards? Who's the Aaliyah Edwards of the tournament? Like who makes the run that we don't see coming? Is it just Cade?
Oh, I guess it would be Cade. Closest to it we don't see coming standpoint, probably Cade.
That's interesting. I think you mentioned RJ Barrett, and it has me thinking it probably is somebody who's like 6'6", 6'7", who can create and who could guard just enough.
Somewhere between 6'6" and 6'8", with a decent wingspan. Yeah, who can guard enough and can at least get to a comfortable release and elevation point back forward or to the basket.
Yeah.
And then Eternal says it's just Ja.
Ja. That's Memphis stuff. I don't think Ja would be that great in this, low key. Like I don't. If Ja's head to head against Trae Young, like I don't know if I like Ja in that.
It's Trae. I think I would.
Like I don't know who stops who. I guess is what I'm struggling with.
I think Ja has a better chance of stopping Trae than Trae does with Ja.
He does, but Trae's ability to create a shot, create in general, like he's another guy. Like if he gets the right matchups, he can go very far. But if he gets like a center, then yeah.
Yeah.
Josh handles and how shifty he gets going full speed is crazy. I know, but it's the NBA. Who do I have Ja facing? There's somebody that would beat him. Like Ja, I don't even think would be like a 4 seed, 5 seed. I think he'd be under that because like if Ja's facing DeMar DeRozan and DeMar DeRozan gets the ball first, like DeMar De-
It sounds nuts to say out loud.
it
There always
does.
like there's a way for Ja in those types of matchups, but I'm with you.
Like Demar's built for this tournament, even now, because this is what he does. You put him in isolation, he's gonna take one of the blocks, and it's like, all right, you're gonna take these 2 dribbles, and then I'm gonna make a decision that you're not ready for. And even if
Yeah,
you are, I could still score over the top of you because this is what I've been doing for 20 years, going back
I
to like high
think
school.
I think he'd struggle defensively, but I'm a big BI fan. I think I'd
Uh,
be interested to see what BI looked like in a one-on-one tournament. I know he'd have issue with like the Ja and the De'Aaron Foxes and stuff. Um, hmm.
I should have put Bi in here
It'd be
probably.
fun. That's a great generator. I feel like we just open the doors for people to go formulate their own
Yeah, because
little thing.
Bi I think would be interesting in here, but also like who am I putting him over in a tournament?
Right, seating wise and stuff. Yeah.
Like he could probably beat Tyler Hero.
Probably. I can see Tyler beating him though.
I guess yeah. Now that he drives, all right, that was fun. We're gonna end it. Victor Wembanyama, hope you're okay,
Yeah.
and thank y'all for watching,
A million
commenting.
percent.
There are usually people who comment after the fact, so we appreciate those super chats, donations as always, and we'll cut clips. We will post clips on YouTube and something on social. So appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you, Siobhan, for joining. She will be back,
Of course.
especially as I start doing weekly WNBA streams when that comes along.
Anytime.